This week, we're at Cody's Automotive Sales and Service in Franklin, Tennessee. Cody and his partner Phil started helping their community by repairing cars together back in 2008. They immediately clicked after realizing a shared passion for providing honest, quality service to their community through automotive repair. Since then, the shop has grown exponentially.
So I got started in the automotive industry when I was a young kid working on a farm with my dad, working in the garage. We always had projects we were tinkering on, and I've got my old 67 F100 that I bought when I was 14, and my dad and I fixed it up and restored it, and then I've kept it over the years, and that's really what launched me into the automotive industry and gave me a love for classic cars and cars in general. Yeah, so I met my partner Phil in 2008. We actually went to church together. He was working for the Nashville Fire Department, and he needed some work done on his car. I had done some work on his car.
We actually, me and Cody met at church. I had a car problem. I knew he was a mechanic. I remember calling him up a couple times and say, hey, could you come over and help me out? And
he came in, and him and I were working on an oxygen sensor, just replacing an oxygen sensor under the car. And
he helped me out a little bit, and I just loved his heart. We just, from there, it's kind of started a relationship, because he said, I was working at the fire department. So he said, hey, I need a part-time help.
And we really just clicked, and it was like, man, I could really use someone like this, that our minds think a lot alike, and really it was his heart. And we soon partnered together, and then he was able to leave the fire department after a few years and come on full time. He's more kind of front of house, I'm more back of house. I have mechanical background.
Like a restaurant, the front of the house and the back of the house, he's the back, I'm the front. We kind of put our strengths together.
And really the one thing that I really lean on for him is just his ability to connect with people, his ability to connect with the technicians in the back, is just building relationship and loving people really well. He's so good at it. He's got such a generous heart.
Cody and Phil pride themselves on helping community members in need. So when they needed a new parts supplier sharing the same values, it was very important to them. They hadn't previously considered NAPA, but then one day Phil figured, why don't I just go talk to them? They're right down the street. And so the rest was history.
Yeah, so NAPA now plays a huge role in our business. It wasn't always that way. It's funny, when we first started off, Phil actually went in there to look for a part that we couldn't find, and Steve, the owner at the NAPA store, they ran into each other and connected, and Steve was like, what, you guys are, we never even knew about you guys. You're kind of tucked in off the main road.
So I met Steve Carino several years ago. He's actually our NAPA owner. He actually invited us to, he called Empowered Advisors. We sent 2 advisors to learn how to do business well, how to love customers, how to be integrous, how to be honest. But he took time to put that together for all, not just us, for all the shops.
And so Steve came in, we connected, and ever since then it's just been a building of our relationship. We've spent a lot of time with Steve, and him and his team over there, they go so far beyond what is expected. And I tell you what, it's amazing how many times we've had a situation, where a customer comes in, they can't afford their brakes on their car, and we call up Steve and say, hey Steve, we want to do these brakes on this car. Would you be willing to sew in? Would you be willing to help us out? You provide the parts, we'll provide the labor, whatever you can do. And there's been time and time again where he's said, you know what, I got them on the way, let's do it. And that's the kind of people that we're looking for, people like that at the NAPA store that are willing to put their skin in the game to invest in the lives of people, because this mom needs to be safe in her car, and we want to partner together with people that have that same mindset, that it's not about the dollars at the end of the day. It'd be nice to make that extra sale, but no, it's about really taking care of people, and that's why we love NAPA so much.
Doing automotive service with integrity is one thing, but providing a service to members of the Franklin community who had fallen on hard times was another. Cody and Phil noticed this need after many years of service and decided to take their operation to the next level, not in the interest of making more money, but in the interest of helping people who were in need. So they opened up a nonprofit called His Refuge.
Phil and I, early on, when we first partnered together, we just operated out of a place of, when someone came in with a need, we did whatever we could to try and meet that need. If it was someone that needed brakes or needed a radiator and they didn't have the money for it, if we had the money for it and we could do it, sometimes things were tight too. It's like, man, payroll's coming up, how are we gonna do this? we're a faith-based shop, and our faith in Jesus Christ is what drives us. But we felt like God was telling us, hey, you need to put this radiator in this car, no charge for this lady. And so we would just do it, and we operated like that for a long time. And then finally we had customers that were coming and saying, hey, I heard that you guys help people out, and we would love to sew into that. We just realized that we have these amazing people in this community that this community of Franklin, that where people want to give to things that are meaningful. They want to sow into people's lives that are in need. So we were like, what if we developed a nonprofit where we could partner together with our friends, family, customers, and provide automotive care for people in need? So we did that. We formed a 501c3 and we launched that a couple of years ago. Yeah, it's basically provides automotive care for people in need. And then another awesome thing that we've seen, we had a customer that I used to work on their car in their driveway. They were one of the first customers I had. We've grown together. They have continued bringing their car here over the years. Well, just like a year ago, they had a van that they were getting ready to sell. They called me and said, could we donate this to you? And they did. They donated it to us. It needed some repairs. We actually called Steve and we said, hey, this needs these repairs. Would you be willing to sew in? So NAPA actually donated some parts to us. We did the repairs. We detailed it, cleaned it up, and then we had a lady come in who was a single mom, had 4 kids. She was in a desperate situation. She didn't know what she was going to do, and we were able to gift that car to her through the nonprofit. And it's just, those are the kind of things that at the end of the day, we're like, man, this is why we do what we do. It's about really meeting the needs of people with the resources that God has given us. So.